Jack the Ripper, London's bloody mystery. Jack the Ripper is one of history's most infamous serial killers, whose brutal murders in London's Whitechapel district during the late 19th century remain unsolved. The mystery surrounding his identity has fascinated historians, criminologists, and true crime enthusiasts for over a century. His reign of terror lasted for just a few months in 1888, yet his crimes left a permanent scar on Victorian London. The setting: London's East End. During the late 19th century, London's East End was notorious for its poverty, crime, and overcrowded slums. Whitechapel, in particular, was a district filled with narrow alleyways, dark streets, and an overwhelming number of impoverished people struggling to survive. Many women, especially those facing extreme poverty, resorted to prostitution to make a living. These women became easy targets for crime, and the area was already plagued by violence before Jack the Ripper emerged. The murders begin. The first known victim of the killer was Mary Ann Polly Nichols, who was found dead on August 31, 1888. Her throat was slashed, and her body had been mutilated, which suggested a level of surgical knowledge. Just over a week later, on September 8, Annie Chapman was discovered in a similar state. Her body had been left in a backyard, with her throat cut and her abdomen brutally mutilated. The precision of the wounds led some to believe that the killer had anatomical knowledge, perhaps that of a doctor or a butcher. On the night of September 30, Elizabeth Stride and Catherine Eddowes were murdered in what became known as the double event. Stride's body was found in Dutfield's yard, with her throat cut, but she was otherwise left untouched. Some believe that the killer was interrupted, which is why he did not mutilate her as he did the others. Less than an hour later, Eddowes was found in Mitre Square with her throat slashed, her face and abdomen cut open, and her kidney removed. The killer had escalated in brutality, further terrifying the residents of Whitechapel. The final confirmed victim, Mary Jane Kelly, was found on November 9, 1888. Her murder was the most gruesome of them all. Unlike the previous victims, who were attacked on the streets, Kelly was killed inside her small room. Her body was completely mutilated beyond recognition, with her internal organs removed and spread across the room. The sheer brutality of this crime led many to believe that the killer was growing bolder and more sadistic. The letters and the name, Jack the Ripper. During the investigation, the police and local newspapers received numerous letters, some of which claimed to be from the killer. The most famous was the "Dear Boss" letter, which was signed, Jack the Ripper. This name became widely used in the media, and the killer became an infamous figure. Another letter, the "Saucy Jackie" postcard, referenced the double event of Stride and Eddowes, arriving just after the murders. The most chilling letter was the "From Hell" letter, which was sent along with a piece of a human kidney, supposedly from one of the victims. The investigation and the suspects. Despite an extensive police investigation, no one was ever arrested for the crimes. Several suspects emerged over the years, including Montague John Druitt, a barrister and teacher who was believed to have committed suicide shortly after the murders. Some theories suggest he was mentally unstable and may have been the killer. Aaron Kosminski, a Polish barber with a history of mental illness who lived in Whitechapel. Some modern forensic evidence has linked him to the crimes, though it remains controversial. Dr. Thomas Neil Cream, a doctor convicted of poisoning several women. Some believe he may have been the Ripper, though he was executed in 1892. Prince Albert Victor, Duke of Clarence, a royal conspiracy theory suggests that Queen Victoria's grandson may have been involved, though there is no solid evidence. James Maybrick, a Liverpool cotton merchant whose alleged diary confessed to being the Ripper, though many believe it was a hoax. Why was he never caught? The police faced many difficulties during the investigation. Crime scene analysis and forensic science were primitive compared to modern standards. The crowded streets of Whitechapel made it easy for the killer to blend in and escape unnoticed. Additionally, the fact that the victims were prostitutes from the slums may have led to a lack of urgency in solving the case. The legacy of Jack the Ripper. Jack the Ripper's crimes changed the way society viewed serial killers. His ability to evade capture, the gruesome nature of his murders, and the letters sent to the press created a public fascination with the case. Over the years, the mystery has inspired countless books, movies, and theories. His identity remains unknown, ensuring that he remains one of the most infamous and mysterious criminals in history. Even today, historians and forensic experts continue to study the case, hoping to uncover the truth. However, more than 135 years later, the identity of Jack the Ripper remains one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries.